Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Johanna. For those of you who are new here, welcome. For those of you who are returning, welcome back. In today's video, I'll be doing the Disney tag created by Mini Rach, and if that is of interest to you, please stay tuned. Okay, so I don't know how long this video will be. We certainly aren't going to be completing a picture in here, but I will be working out of the Hachette Heroes Vitrales. This is just the Spanish version of Vitro. This is a buddy color with my friend Pricey Colors, and this first part of the video will be a little bit lengthy because I need to talk about a few things, and then I'll show you some processes on things I'll be coloring. And then I'll actually start the tag. So the tag was created by Mini Rach, and Pricey Colors and Mini Rach share the same name, Rach. So throughout the video, I'm just going to call them by their channel names just because it's a lot easier. So Pricey Colors tagged me. She was tagged in Mini Rach's Disney tag, and Pricey Colors and I are actually doing a buddy color in here. Now, I know that she has this book. I had seen her completed pages, and so I reached out to her to see if she wanted to do this because Pixie is doing I think for the rest of the year, a Disney challenge thing. I'll put the hashtag on the screen while I'm editing. I'm not sure when my voice is like this, but yeah, we're gonna get through it. But every month she's going to choose a different Disney character. If you're interested in her process, again, go ahead and check out her channel. All the channels mentioned will be listed below. And so for the month of April, the character was Belle. So we're going to be coloring this picture right here. And then that will count towards Pixie's challenge. Clearly it's Disney related, so I thought it'd be appropriate to work on this while I do Mini Rach's tag, buddy color with Pricey, and it also goes for Olga Rani's April monthly prompt of character from a book, because Beauty and the Beast is actually a book that was written, and so it covers a lot for me. There's a lot going on the page, so again, I'm not going to finish this with you, but Pricey did a video showing how she does her process, so we're going to do that with Belle, and then I'll show you a little bit of my process on how I've done another page in here with the Beast. And I don't swatch, I don't test anything, so I'm going to pull out some water-based markers by way of my Ohuhus, and I'm going to be using some pencils by way of some new twistables that I picked up, and we're going to just see which method I like better. So let me go get those and I'll be right back. So these are my Ohuhus. Again, I showed this in my haul, and these things come out. There's a lot of yellows there, and there's some blues there. I'm actually going to have to take both of these out then. Okay, so I'm going to grab this yellow here. Again, I'm not going to test this. I'm going to put it on page and hope for the best. I'm just going by the pen color, and we'll choose those three. There does seem to be a little bit of tone difference, so that's fine. And then let's pick 3 different blues. So this one, this one. I don't want to go too dark. I also don't know if that's more purple. I'll put that to the side. This one. And this one. These are the twistables. I actually picked these up yesterday. I had heard good things about these. So in the Beast, in his outfit, and I actually don't know if he's all blue, so we're just going to concentrate on the jacket. I don't know if his pants is a different color. I'll have to look at a reference picture. But we're going to do some pencil work in Belle's dress. So we're going to pick some things that look like yellow just based on the barrel. There's no names on these, so I don't know exactly. And maybe we'll get those. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start putting some color down. Both of these will be having a wash of water-based marker down. Belle will have some pencil shading. He will not, but I will do some shading, and I'll show you that in just a minute while I'm going through this. I feel super frazzled, and I don't know if it's because there's just a lot going on where I have to try to explain things while I'm answering things, but it felt like the best way to do this tag, do this. It's already towards the ending of the month, so I do want to get this completed. So let's just put our, that actually looks like a highlighter. So let's just put that down. Oh, no, that's not too bad. And I do want these swags to be a little darker. These look like swags, but they don't have that little dot on the top, so we're just going to make that a little darker. So I'm just going to randomly put down some colors by way of these yellows, and I actually don't see any streaks. I'll try to zoom in while I'm editing so that you can see that, and I'm just gonna, so that the colors don't touch each other, and let's just actually get started with the questions. So the first question is, what is your favorite Disney movie? And before the end of 2021, it would have been a tie-up, and for me, this particular tag is based on Disney cartoons. Disney actually does a lot of movies, but I'm just basing this off the cartoons. So prior to the end of 2021, I probably would have said Mulan, Moana, or Raya. I really like those three. Actually, like quite a few Disney cartoons, but those probably make my top three that I've seen the most. But I have to say, probably right now, my favorite Disney cartoon would be Encanto. I have seen that since the ending of 2021, probably over 30 times now, because I love the visuals, I love the music. It's a fun time for me. So that's definitely, as of right now, and it does change, my favorite Disney cartoon. Favorite Disney character? To be honest, no particular character comes to mind. Most Disney movies are ensemble movies to me, and so I like, if I'm thinking about Encanto, I really love Mirabelle, but I also love her sisters. I love Bruno, so I wouldn't be able to pick one from that movie, even though as of right now that's my favorite. From Mulan, I love the character of Mulan, but I also love her relationship with Mushu. So yeah, I don't know that I have a favorite Disney character. Favorite Disney princess? Now Moana says she is not a Disney princess, but because she is Polynesian, I'm gonna go with her because representation matters. Underrated Disney movie. Again, thinking just about the cartoons, I don't know that I know of one that I feel is underrated. I don't watch a lot of the older stuff. Like, I don't even know if I've watched the Aristocrats or the Aristocats. And I'm just trying to think about characters that I've seen in the book. I've never seen A Car's Life. I've seen A Bug's Life. I think that's a Disney movie. I've never seen Zootopia. I've seen parts of the one where the different moods are different colored characters, but I've never seen that full thing. So I don't know that I can speak to an underrated movie, because if I like a movie, I like it. And if I don't, I just only ever watched it the one time. I have never seen Frozen, however, and that's because it deals with sisters, and I lost mine. She passed away. I didn't lose her. I know where she is. So yeah, I've never seen that one or the second one, and that's just because of the subject matter. But yeah, underrated, I'm not 100% sure. Don't think I'm doing too well on this tag. But number 5, let's talk about that. It's opinions on Marvel and Star Wars. Now, I don't know if it means opinions on whether it should belong to Disney or opinions on just them themselves. I actually am a huge fan of both the Marvel Cineverse as well as the Star Wars Cineverse. I am definitely more of a Star Wars fan than I am a Star Trek fan. I like some of the newer reboot by way of the movies, not so much the shows. I've never actually really been into any of the Star Trek shows, but the Star Trek movies, fan of. There are some movies in the Star Wars universe that I am not a fan of, but just the whole space epic cowboy kind of feeling I really have enjoyed. I was born in the 70s, and so I remember watching Star Wars, the first one, in the theater, and just being blown away by it because it had never been anything that I had seen before, and I just thought it was absolutely epic. Now, the first movie out, the first one in the 70s, is actually movie number 4 chronologically. So the movies that came out, I think it was in the 90s, the ones with Natalie Portman, and they kind of discussed Darth Vader's backstory. I'm not a fan of any of those. I had so much anticipation because I loved the first 3. So Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. I love them so much that I had such high hopes of the 5th one that came out. Chronologically, it would have been number 1. But it was so disappointing to me that I actually never saw the other 2. I did see the snippets of the Yoda fight, where Yoda fights, I guess, Darth Vader. I actually don't know because I've never seen the full movie. I remember seeing him fighting, and I thought that was really cool. But otherwise, I haven't actually seen any of those. And then the ones that came out more recently in like the 2000s, I actually enjoyed all of them. I really enjoyed the first one, introducing Finn and Poe and I think Ray. I think that's her name. I really like that first one. And then the others just were good to service the story. Han Solo was good, but there's no Harrison Ford, or there's no other Han Solo other than Harrison Ford to me. So it was a bit interesting. Rogue One, I don't know the story enough of Star Wars to have realized that was what was going to happen. And so I was absolutely blown away, and not in a good way. I mean, it was a good movie, but I didn't expect that to happen. I'm not going to spoil it, even though it's been out for a while. So yeah, there's that. But I do like The Mandalorian. That's the one that the Baby Yoda has been featured in. And his name is Grogu. I think it's a species. They don't actually talk about it or call him a species, but he is not the Yoda. He is his own character, one, because he has his own name, but two, from my brother, it's in a different time in the chronological timeline of Star Wars, so it's not the same person. Although I don't know that in any of the other Star Wars movies or shows or whatever, there's ever been a character like the Baby Yoda. That species. And I can't call this species by its name because I don't know what it is. But I also liked Boba Fett. I thought that was a really good, interesting show as well. So yeah, I'm a big fan of Star Wars. And then on the Marvel side, I didn't actually know about the Avenger world until the movies came out. As a kid, whenever my brothers would get comic books, I would be able to get one as well because, you know, men and women should be equal in the things that they get from their parents. And if I didn't pick up a Betty and Veronica coloring book, then I would pick up a X-Men coloring book because I really loved the character Storm. So I didn't actually even know any, if at all, about the Avenger side, although they do inhabit the same space in the comic books because different studios picked up different movies. That's why you don't see the same characters being played by the same characters. The Scarlet Witch, her brother, Pietro, I think his name, he's played by two different people in the two different Cineverses because it's two different studios. And they handle the backstory of both of those characters a little differently. But I really love, from Iron Man on, I love all of those movies. I don't like the Captain America movies, not so much because of the storyline or whatever, but when he's in his just regular mode, not the super soldier mode, when he's been given the serum, I don't like how that character looks. It looks weird to me. It makes me, I don't know, it just makes me feel sad, and I don't generally watch movies that give me that kind of emotional response. And so I've seen them once just to get the story, but then I've never seen them again. The only movie that I will probably never watch again is The Eternals. And again, from a story standpoint, it serves the story. It's beautifully done. Characters are interesting, but not interesting enough, nor have I seen how they play into the rest of the Marvel universe enough for me to want to ever watch it again. Plus, it seemed like it was a little too long, and that they were just trying to drag it out for, I don't know, whatever reason. It is a difficult story to tell because it does seem like a one-off or the introductory of one. So you have to introduce a bunch of characters, and yeah. It's probably the one that I like the least, but it still was a good movie by way of a Marvel movie. From that world, I've probably seen Shang-Chi a good dozen times, Captain Marvel a good dozen times. I love The Last Thor. There is one coming out this year. Looking forward to that one. I don't plan to go to a movie theater ever anytime soon. And so I'll just wait for it to hit Disney Plus or some kind of streaming service where I can pay for it. But yeah, those are my feelings on Marvel and Star Wars. So before I get into the rest of the questions, because there's only 10, let's see about doing some shading with one of these twistables. And so you just literally twist it up. And let's go with some of the lighter ones, and let's see if that adds anything. I'm not really trying, to do a lot of shading. My hands are actually already going numb, but I want to add a little bit of depth to it so that it does look like there's been a variety of different glass panes kind of cobbled together. Now, when Pricey does this, she has a lot more patience, and her results show it. I think that's still a little bit too light, so let's go with this orangey color. And I'll do a light pressure. I'm just doing some in the corners. Again, just so that there looks like there's some light reflecting through this little piece here. I think I like that better, but yeah, my hand's going numb, so we're finished with Belle for right now. But I'm going to work on the Beast right now, and I'll show you the way that I had done it in another page, and I can actually end the video with that page. I do see that there's some white spots where I didn't get a good coverage down, but that's fine. I will be finishing this off camera, but let me start putting down some color, and I'll do some small spaces just to see what these look like. Because again, we did pick those 4 different blues. those, I mean, clearly they would look very similar. Let's go in here. Oh, I would have thought that was darker. And then this one right here. Okay, I think we're going to rely mostly on these two. I'll put that one to the side. That one is a little darker, and I think his jacket is a little darker. Oh, good, they post. So let me put this down, and there's actually two ways I think that this can be done. So I'm going to just put a wash down, or first coat, however you want to call this. And I'll let that dry. And then let's do a smaller space where I'm going to do the initial wash down. And then I'm going to come into the corners and darken it up while it's still wet. This one we're going to go back and darken up a corner, and we'll see which method we look. So I'm going to just do some blocks like I did this one and go to the next question. So question number 6 is your least favorite Disney movie. And I've only ever seen Princess and the Frog once. I've only ever seen Pocahontas once. Again, I couldn't tell you if I've ever seen Aristocats. There's just some movies that I've never felt the need to watch again, or just watch in general. So I don't know that I have a least favorite. There's just things I haven't watched multiple times, so I guess that they would be my least favorite. But yeah, I don't exactly have an answer for that one. I think those are the same two colors. Favorite Renaissance movie, and that's movies that were brought out between 1989 and 1999, and so I had to look that up. And absolutely, hands down, it would be Mulan. I love the interplay between Mulan and Mushu. I love the nature of the story. I love that she's strong. I love it. And even the live action one that came out recently in the last few years, I like that one as well. So yeah, definitely my favorite Renaissance movie. And actually we should check for ghosting. So this is the picture on the back. And there would have been some ghosting here, if there were any, because that's where the blue is. And I don't see anything, so good. Good job. Okay, and where are we? Favorite sidekick? So probably, you might have guessed it, it would be Mushu. Just because the voice I thought was spot on by Eddie Murphy. The sass on him is just amazing. It makes me laugh every single time. So that definitely is my favorite sidekick. Okay, so that's the wet on wet. Not sure how I feel about that. These two are dry, so let's see if we can make some definition. And then for these, I would do a section that wasn't touching that one. So again, it looks a little different. So from a lighting perspective, I think this one definitely looks better. And I don't know if it's because I'm holding this so tightly. I don't know what it is, but again, I'm having issues with my hands going numb. So that doesn't look too bad. So let's do a lighter color. And if you're wondering if this is just a throwaway picture for me, no picture that I spend my time on is a throwaway picture for me. So if I don't get the picture perfect, what people would assume is Pinterest results, I don't care. No, that's not a concern of mine. I'm enjoying the process. I'd enjoy it more off camera just because I wouldn't have to feel like I need to be coherent because I would just be silent. I'd probably have something on the background, maybe even a Disney movie although not this one. I've seen this like once or twice, and that was enough for me. Yeah, the whole talking through a process, it can be quite difficult sometimes. But whether his jacket looks spot on, whether it looks like the character, you're going to know this is Beauty and the Beast. Whether it looks like a movie poster, yeah, that doesn't need to be a thing for me. So we are number 9. If you were a character in Encanto, what ability do you think you would have? So I don't know if that means would I have a new ability? So I would get a door that is just my own, or if that means if I'd get an ability like characters that are already in that universe. So I'd love to get an ability that's like super cool, like, you know, I could make unlimited pizza or money or something like that. But probably I'd get something really lame, like I would have enhanced social awkward skills, which I already have. So that would be my own custom one. But if I'm taking a skill from one of the characters that are in that universe, it probably would be like Dolores, where she can just hear everything, because I'm super nosy. So I have been known to eavesdrop on occasion just because I want to know what's going on. More so because if it affects me, I just want to be prepared, and less because I'm a gossiper. I don't build a lot of personal interactions like that. That gossiping is really part of my lifestyle. He definitely looks like he has a patchwork jacket. And the final question is, have you been to Disney World? And no. When I was a little girl, we went to Disneyland, and that's just because we were visiting my uncle and he lived near there. We grew up rather poor, so traveling anywhere. Actually, we've never actually taken a vacation as a family. There was just no way to afford that. For the longest time, well, actually for most of my childhood, my dad was the breadwinner. My mom was a stay-at-home, 4 kids. That totally makes sense. And so even going to places like fun parks or places on island that cost money, when you times it by 6 people, it was just out of our reach. And so we actually played outside a lot. For me, not by choice. I'm not an outdoor person. So getting sent to go play outside was always just like, ugh, for how long? When can I come back indoors? But we read a lot. We went to the library a lot. Near where we lived at the time, there was a bowling alley that was rather cheap. It was air conditioned. We didn't have air conditioning in our house. So only like my mom or my brothers would bowl. I would just sit there in the AC and read something, because there was also a library nearby. So yeah, I don't know if it's sort of a Debbie Downer kind of story, but Disney World certainly was never in the price range. As a child, I have no inclination post-pandemic, pre-pandemic, to travel for fun. I don't enjoy traveling, and I don't know that I actually enjoy Disney World per se, but I also know Harry Potter Land is over there somewhere, and I would like to go there just to get some of the souvenirs. But even if they had Harry Potter World, and actually they might, in Disneyland in California, I don't know that I'd still want to travel. Again, post-pandemic, pre-pandemic, I'm not into that lifestyle. I definitely think the lighter colors work better, because if there are streaks, you can't really see them. You can see some streaking here. I might have to, well, okay, I've got you guys here. Let's see how the blue looks on one of the lighter ones. And I mean, I think it looks okay. I think it looks a little less stark than the pen on pen. Let's see how this feels just with the pencil. So I'm going in with light pressure just to get a solid color, and then I'll come into the corners and press a little darker. Let's see if they have a white. So they do. So let's see if we do some white in the middle to kind of blend that together. And I think when people do this, they're actually using multiple colors. Using this too already is problematic for my hands. It's strange to me because they have quite a few yellows and light oranges, but this looks like to be the only blue. So let's just do a little bit more. Let's actually use some of the white here, if that kind of makes any kind of difference. Well, you certainly can see it on the blue. These don't seem to blend, so it doesn't take away any of the lines. Again, hopefully in editing I can zoom that in. And so because of that, it doesn't seem worthwhile to me to continue to do layers. This is a Caran d'Ache blender, I think it is. Let's see if this does anything. Because I don't care if the grain of the paper shows through. I never care about that. But I just want to see if it just kind of takes away some of those edges. And no, it doesn't. Definitely, I think she's going to turn out a lot better just because you can't see as many of the lines. But with that said, this is one of the methods that I used, although I did use super tips. I don't know that that makes much of a difference. And at the end of it, it will look interesting. It certainly is not going to look perfect. This is going to be something I'll need to spend a little bit of time on for the rest of the week because I do want to finish this by month end. But again, I don't need this to look perfect, and I might even still post it to Instagram. I never let anything that I think people might consider janky or wrong or not up to the standards that you normally see. I'm not going to let that stop me. I've spent time on this, and maybe even a considerable amount of time, and so I'm not going to let the opinions of other people make me feel bad about time and effort that I've done. Okay, I'm just doing a spot check just to see if any of the layering has any ghosting, and it has not. All right. And honestly, what I might do is instead of trying to do that kind of light effect, I might just straight color and call it a day. Even with her, I think doing the different tones might be enough of an interesting effect, although maybe for the rest of him, I'll just use just one color. These characters I think are white and pink or maybe gold, I'm not sure, and so I'll definitely need to figure out how to make them pop off the page. But let me show you the page that I had done previously. And it's this one right here. As you can see, all of this was done in super tips. He's actually done in a wash of Inktense. Some of it is done in the usual way where you just scribble on the page and then activate it. But the rest of him I actually scribbled on a palette, made it like a watercolor, and then did the same thing where I put a base layer, and then in some of the corners I just did a little bit of an additional coat just to give some difference. And then there is some pencil work on here, I think his tongue and his ears, but that hurt my hand almost immediately. So, and what did I use? I used Amazon Basics, so maybe different pencils work better on this paper. But yeah, it's not a book that I gravitate towards. Disney is not a book or the Disney theme is not something that I gravitate towards anyway, because with Disney things, I feel that they should represent what the cartoon looks like. I could color this dog in anything, I could color Belle in anything, but I really want them to look like the character, and that's not the coloring style that I generally like, so I don't generally favor Disney books. As of right now, I only have 3. I did order 2 more. And it's more so because I want to do Pixie's monthly challenge, but I want it in a much smaller scale. The other 2 books that I have that are Disney, one is a tracing book, so that's inherently extra work. And the other one, my amazing friend Sarah had sent to me, but it's also quite a big picture. And so the other ones are just small mini books, and they're just way more manageable to me. So this is definitely something you're going to see in my completed pages. Again, I don't know how I'm going to attack the rest of this. Like for them, the background, I don't know if I should leave quite light and maybe do some pink edges, or if I should go like dark purples. I'm not sure. I might just do straight color. Yeah, so I'm definitely gonna have to figure out this page. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I do want to do a process video where I show you, or at least test some watercolors in here, maybe play with my Neocolor 2s, maybe play with my new Inktense paints, maybe show you the Inktense pencils and how I use that. But again, talking through a process video like this is very difficult for me, and I don't enjoy it, but I do enjoy sharing the process with you guys, just in case you have something similar and you are wondering how to attack it. So that's the end of this video. Thank you, Pricey Colors. Thank you, Mini Rach. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Pixie. Thank you to all of you. If you have not done this Disney tag, I highly advise you to do it. Now, whether you do a Disney coloring page, whether you're journaling, it doesn't matter, because none of these questions actually have anything to do with coloring. It's just, for me, it just made sense to tie these 2 things together. So consider yourself tag if you're interested in doing this. Make sure that you reference Mini Rach. In my description box, I will have all of the channels that I've mentioned, as well as the questions, just in case you are interested in this. I'd love to know you guys' thoughts. And as always, aloha.